and taking a look at a couple album anniversaries, album and track anniversaries of some albums and tracks that are celebrating their birthdays and anniversaries this week. Our Lady Peace's Clumsy, which came out in 1997, January 23rd, 1997, to be honest, celebrates its birthday this week. That was a huge record for me. I was talking about Do You Know What I Mean, the Oasis song in the deep dive that I did here on the channel this week. 1997 was a good year for music because Our Lady Peace and Clumsy was a huge record for me back in 1997 when that album came out. I remember going to Limeridge Mall, the same place I still buy all my CDs and all my music these days. I remember going to Limeridge Mall and picking up Our Lady Peace, that album Clumsy, on CD. And I was just obsessed with that song, Superman's Dead, which was the first single off that record. And my parents were like, "Are you sure?" Because they were the ones buying it. I didn't have my own money when I was 13 years old, or I don't think I did, at least not a lot of it. But my parents were like, "Are you sure you want to buy that album? You only know one song." And that was always the argument, right? "You sure you want to spend that $15 or $20 on that CD? You only know one song, and the rest of the album might be shit." But that actually ended up being a solid album. Our Lady Peace and Clumsy, I remember being super excited for that record, and it actually lived up to the hype. That album is a good album. I like pretty much every song on that album, whether it be Car Crash or 4am, Automatic Flowers, Carnival, Big Dumb Rocket, Clumsy, Superman's Dead. That's a great Our Lady Peace album. Can't really say the same for the most recent material or stuff they've done over the last decade or so, but that album, Our Lady Peace, Clumsy, is a great record, and that celebrates its birthday this week from January 23rd, 1997. Also celebrating a birthday this week is Beady Eye, the first song from Oasis without Noel Gallagher when they went on to form Beady Eye after Oasis broke up. They put out their first album, Different Gear, Still Speeding, and The Roller came out on January the 23rd, 2011 as their first single. And I have it here on vinyl, 7-inch vinyl that I got from a Beady Eye box set that I bought many, many years ago. The Roller and the B-side, Two of a Kind. Two of a Kind is a really, really great Beady Eye song, a really great Beady Eye B-side. And that was kind of cool too, that Beady Eye went back to releasing B-sides, kind of old school like Oasis used to do back in the day. There's the look at the vinyl. But that's one of my favorite Beady Eye songs. That was a great way to start off that band. They just absolutely sounded fantastic. And the Beady Eye didn't really live up to the hype as much as we wanted them to, but I think they came out of the gate with a great album and a great single, which is actually a leftover song. I think Gem had wrote the song originally for Oasis, but it was nice that Beady Eye ended up recording that one. Also celebrating a anniversary or birthday this week is My Hero, the single from the Foo Fighters, was released in January of 1998. One of my favorite Foo Fighters songs, one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs to play on guitar. And then, just going back to The Color and the Shape from 1997, I think My Hero was the third single after Monkey Wrench and Everlong. And I just remember loving that song when it came out. Still love it. That amazing double-tracked drum track from Dave Grohl is absolutely one of my favorites. And I always wondered how that ended up sounding so huge, and that's because Dave Grohl double-tracked the drums for My Hero, and that's why maybe it doesn't sound as good when your band plays it at a show like my band used to. We tried our best, but maybe we couldn't get it sounding as epic as Dave Grohl. And then another album that's celebrating its anniversary this week on January 21st, 1977, we have Pink Floyd and Animals. Yes, this is one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums. That is the Battersea Power Station in London, UK. The time that I went to go visit my buddy Ryan, I went on the train and went right by the Battersea Power Station. There was not any pigs flying above it at the time, but it was still pretty epic to see this structure, which is now being renovated and all sorts of cool things, apartments and retail and all that kind of stuff. But this was taken in 1977 when that area of London, what I'm sure was a lot less posh or nice than it is now. But this is definitely one of my favorite Pink Floyd records. Dogs is one of my favorite epic Pink Floyd songs. Pigs on the Wing is awesome. Sheep. It's a very long album. The songs on this album are extremely long, but I think this is maybe the last great Pink Floyd album. I love The Wall as well, but to me, Animals is kind of the end of that classic era of Pink Floyd. And then another album that is celebrating its anniversary, its birthday this week on January the 24th. It came out in 2019. Maybe not as classic as Animals or My Hero by the Foo Fighters, and that's Weezer. And the Teal album. Do you guys remember when they put these out in 2019? The band recorded a album full of covers, called it the Teal album. This came out in between. It came out in between the White Album and the Black Album, I believe. So this came out in 2019 before the Black Album. And it's got their cover of Toto's Africa, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, their Tears for Fears cover, Take On Me, Sweet Dreams, Happy Together, Paranoid by Black Sabbath, Mr. Blue Sky, No Scrubs by TLC, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, and Stand By Me. So I know maybe not a lot of Weezer fans are a huge fan of this particular release from the band, but I always really loved the TL album. I think it's got some solid covers on it. At least the Africa Toto cover is really, really cool. And it's maybe not the most classic Weezer album, but I have all their albums in my collection. So happy birthday to the Teal album. Happy birthday to Pink Floyd's Animals. Happy birthday to Foo Fighters and My Hero. And then happy birthday to Beady Eye the Roller and Our Lady Pieces Clumsy, all celebrating their rock anniversaries this week.